Hello and welcome to Conquer Your Fabric Scrap Summit. I'm Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda, and I am here today with a 0.000%, maybe less, of my fabric scraps that I do have. So I want to show you and talk to you about a little bit about color value with scraps and how you can play around with them a little bit. The first thing everybody knows is the color wheels. Now, there are lots of color wheels on Pinterest and all these other places, and you can look at them, and the logic behind them is it's a complementary colors or monochromatic, triadic, analogous, right? I mean, and you know, everybody sits there and they struggle with those four concepts, right? And it's like, think of it as, okay, that's a guideline. That's actually a guideline. If you really want and you're stuck and you can't find the right color wheel to work with the scraps you have, just sort your colors or sort your scraps by cool and warm tones. You don't have to stress out about any of this when you're dealing with your scraps. You know, it's supposed to be a fun hobby. It's not supposed to be stressful. But I mean, you know, we want to make things that look lovely and look nice and people ooh and ah over. I mean, this is what we like to do. And, you know, that's part of the fiber artist, the little fiber artist that's in all of us saying, it has to look perfect. No, it can be just cute and adorable and wonderful. So I'm not going to get into the complementary and the mono, the triadic and the anitic, I can't say that word, because there's so much written already on the internet about it. And I mean, people go on and on and on about all the different things you can do and, you know, all the colors and all the rest of this. But I do want to talk to you about your color preference, right? Everybody has their own color preference, right? I tend to like the jewel tones, like the blues, the greens, the purples, the ruby reds, the golds. I mean, those are things I like to play with. But that's not everybody. Some people like the pinks and the purples. Some people lean more to the fall color. Some people love that more muted gray kind of tones, those lovely neutrals that go, you know, on for days and days. But that's all about preference, right? Now, preference, quilting by preference is not a bad thing because you're enjoying, you're engaged with your colors and everything is going to go like really great. But let's say now your scraps are down to, I don't know what to do with them. I really don't. You know what you do? You invite 5 of your best friends over that are quilters and you serve them tea. You give them each a big pile of scraps and say, okay, give me 3 ideas from each of you. Give me 3 ideas on what to do with the scraps that are in front of you. Because those colors will inspire them differently than you. And they look at people look at color differently from one person to the next. Some people will like, you know, like pinks and browns. And the other person will go, pink? You put blue and brown together. That looks perfect. And it's like, no, it's your preference. They both look good and they both work on those color wheels, right? As complementary, mono, triadic, or analogous, or oh, I can't say that word today for some reason. A new mouth got installed last night and just nothing is working, right? But that's okay. But you know what I'm talking about, right? It's preference. Now, as they're going through your scraps and drinking your tea, you take their advice. Like if they give you 3 ideas each, all of a sudden now you've got 15 ideas is what you can do with your scraps. And you know what? Do one of them. Just do one of them. See what happens, right? You know, and just take one of those ideas and just, I'm going to try this. I'm going to try that. I'm going to do this. Because now you have 15 ideas and you've worked through some of the issues with the color preferences, right? I mean, that's a great way to get help with your friends. If those scraps are causing you a lot of anxiety and you're stressing out about them and you've ran out of ideas and you've ran out of your friends' ideas, you know, you can always donate those scraps to a play school, daycare, quilting guilds, or to a friend that loves scraps. Just give them away. It's not bringing you joy, you might as well. right? I mean, it's causing you stress and anxiety. Give them away to somebody who is like short of scraps or just starting out, or is, you know, somebody that likes to make charity quilts or whatever. Now your scraps are going to be used somewhere else. And it's okay. It's okay to do that, right? But we sit there, well, we paid for this and we have to use it. Not if it's bringing you anxiety. Not at all. Not at all. And remember too, all the warm colors play nice together and all the cool colors play nice together. Now some people have problems. Okay, what's cool and what's warm? You know, okay. So this, for instance, is a warm tone, right? Now, this to me reads, it's kind of a neutral. It's right in the middle. Like there's some cool tones in here, there's warm tones in here. So we're going to put this one in the middle. And this little cute pink ducky, that's definitely a cool tone. Another gold that's darker, that's going to be a warm tone. I've got a low volume here that's kind of a cream background. That's going to be a cool tone, or a warm tone, sorry, warm tone, neutral. We haven't seen where this one fits. We'll show you how to work that one through. This one is green and a white background. That's definitely a cool tone. And this one, even though it has red and yellow and purple and green and all, you know, orange and everything, all the dots, this one to me is reading more cool tone, right? But we can also leave that one in the middle. See where it looks best, right? Now this one's got octopuses and mermaids and fish and all sorts of things, and it's got pink and, you know, so to me that's more cool tones, right? So that's going to lay there. This red has a bit of brown undertone, so I'm going to put that one with the warm tones. This has got orangey undertone, right? So, no, wait a minute, that looks more blue now that I put it over there. And you'll see whether or not it goes or not. That one definitely goes over here. That one goes over there. So now our purples. This one's definitely a cool tone. A cool tone. This kind of pale blue and white is a cool tone. This navy. Now navy is one of those ones. It's neutralish because it's so dark, right? But you can maybe see some, you know, cooler undertones or lighter under, if you take it out in bright daylight, you know. So I'm going to put this one with the cool. This one's also a cool, because like I say, I like my jewel tones, right? And this one is definitely a warm tone, or warmish tone. No, it's not a warm tone. Okay, so what we do now is we lay out these warm tones, and we see where the neutral ones fit best. That, for me, looks pretty good. That one right there looks good as a warm tone. It looks good as a warm tone. Let's see what it does. It clashes far too much with the cool tones, so it would definitely fall in the warm tone pile. And this just does not work over here. No, it does not. It is definitely a cool tone, because when you start putting it up against the colors, it starts reading more cool tones. So you could just sort your scraps that way. Right, and all of this would go together. You have some darks, right? You have the darks, and you have the mediums, and you have a light, a low volume, right? So you even have contrast in your warm tones, right? And in the cool tones, you've got your mermaid fabric, your green and white, your pale pink. That also works as your low. This is a medium, dark, medium, dark. I'm throwing that in the medium. So here, you know, when you're looking at value within your cool tones, now you're going to have this going on, right, with the cool low volumes, the mediums, and the darks. But let's say you're really limited and you don't have a lot of scraps, but you're trying to use them all, right? And you can. I mean, really, you can. You just put them all together. Yes, it kind of looks like a little weird thing, but this is where color versus value comes in. Now, that old saying about color gets all the credit, value does all the work, that's very true. And I've got a perfect trick for you to see. And so come on in here and we'll give you a better look at it. Okay, so these are the fabrics that we were just playing with into warm and cool tones. But you know, you could put them all together and it's fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to sort out the lights first. And this I would consider a light. Well, it's a darker light. So we're going to just line these up from darkest to lightest. This has got lots of color on it. So does this. And this as well. So now we're going to get the next lightest. That's pretty light. Not sure about that. That's probably a dark. Let's go through. Ooh, a light. Now is it lighter than those? And you really don't have to think too much about it. Because you're going to check it. I'm going to show you a cheat right now on how to do this. So let's say we've got... Ooh, that's probably that. And then this is the darkest. This is the second darkest. And okay, this is my guess. This is my best guess as to what fabrics go from light to dark. Now I'm just going to tighten this up a bit just so you can see what I'm talking about better on the camera. So I have my cell phone here. Now at one time we used to get those red glasses, and it would take basically all the color out of the fabric, and then we would be able to see value of the fabric, whether it be, you know, dark, medium, or light. Oh, I sorted it the wrong way. Let's go this way. Okay, lightest to darkest. Okay. So here we go, we've got this. Now I'm going to take my cell phone here and I'm just going to go take a picture of this. Now this it's not right, it's not wrong, it's not anything. It's just taking a picture and taking your best guess at how these line up. So I'm just going to take a picture like that. Now I'm going to look at that picture. I'm going to edit my picture, and where the three balls or circles join, you're going to go from original to black and white. And you can now see in the camera, hope you can see that, how they go from dark to light. And yes, there's a few mistakes. Like this one could be moved in a little bit here. Like this one could be moved to, let's see, about between here and the plaid. It's down more in here somewhere. And let's see what else we got here at this. And what else needs to be moved? There's obviously something that needs to be moved every time. Oops, let's go back. Oops, no, that's my grandchild. Okay, edit. Let's go back to the... Okay, let's go back to this. Let's go back to that. So we're still looking at, that's probably not too bad, I think. Is it this one? These two, no, these two need to be moved. Okay, so we just changed these, and now we're at darkest to lightest. So now you take another picture of that, right? Because you want to make sure you've got it right. So you take your photo, okay, and you can do this with any scrap pile that you got, pretty much, and then go to edit. And now we're going to go back to the same thing, the three little dots. We're going to swirl right back. And yes, we've got it pretty much close. This one could move, but it's so close to the background. Yeah, it's fine. So we're going to call it, works from darkest to lightest. Okay, so now you know what the darkest or lightest. And you know some of these are cool tones and some of these are warm tones, right? So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, there. Okay. So what have I got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now these, you put the lightest colors with this. You're going to put the lightest colors with your lightest mediums, or your darkest mediums, right? Because these are the lightest mediums. And you're going to put your darkest colors with your lightest mediums, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're just going to take 2 off at a time. So we know this pairing will work lovely. These 2 will have a lot of contrast and they'll be fine. You know, like all of that will go together. These 2 will go. And believe it or not, that gold and that latte, right? So you've got like 4 different options here. Like you have enough now for value. You got a blue and a blue, so I wouldn't necessarily put the navy with the blue. I would put the navy, this blue, medium blue with this purple, and then put these 2 together. But you now have 4 things that you now can play around with and make it look good, because you have contrast enough, because the values are different enough. So let's just work with this this one here. We'll get the other ones cleared off. Okay, so for now, this one, okay, you even have colors with these 2. And the ducks and the plaid would go perfect. But if you switch these around, I mean, and the pinky reds, I mean, would work. And this, would work as well. These are all these are all cool toned, right? So they would all work, right? There's not a problem. So let's grab the other ones with the lightest. Okay. So we have one here. We have a pale green and a green, kind of a limey green. That works. And these would work because this one kind of goes back and forth between cool tone and warm tone, because it has oranges and yellows, but it also has purples, blues, greens, and it has some reds. It's kind of like, so you could play with this either way. Both this and this would also work, right? I mean, because there's little bits of green. I mean, you have now some, things that you can now play with, right? I mean, and they would show up, right? Now, when we get into the more medium ones, and I think this is where, now it starts looking, because this to me is a low volume. This, however, is a gold, right? So you can put either one of these beside each other and it would work, because you would be able to see the difference in the fabric. This is more warm toned. This is a cool tone. This kind of floats between a warm tone and a cool tone as well, right? But it would work. It would even work with this, right? So, I mean, you can kind of play around with this. But like I say, this one kind of gets, I don't know. Yeah, it would work. When you make blocks out of it, it would work, because you have contrast, right? Now, this one, where we have the blues and the purples, right? These, like I say, blue with blue, yes, you could, hit the monochromatic thing and it would work. And this would definitely be the lighter. This would also work as the lightest, but I would like to jazz these up, and I would take my lightest blue and put it with my darkest purple, and take my lightest purple and put it with my darkest blue if I'm going to make quilt blocks, because now I know I have some colors playing around here to work with, and I've got my contrast because of my value. But anyways, that's my simple little quick fix. Okay, this is how you play with my scraps. Like, my husband pulled these out of the scraps and they work brilliantly. I thought, okay, yeah, like, we can work with this. Yes, you can do all sorts of things. Whether or not you feel comfortable doing this is totally up to you. But I mean, all of the fabrics do, all the colors do work. So anyways, let's wrap this up. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this lesson on color and value, and having a bit of fun with your scraps, and different ideas on what you can do with your scraps. I just want to thank Nikki from the Ruffled Purse for inviting me along on this Conquer Your Fabric Scraps Summit. I am just having so much fun coming up with a lesson plan for you. And if you need more information, or you want a bunch of free patterns, or you're looking for some fun sew-alongs, you know, come check me out on my YouTube channel, which is called Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. We also have a Facebook group, and we do like the Zoom sew dates, and it's been just a pleasure chatting with you today. Okay, you take care and have an awesome month ahead. Okay, bye!